Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this no-sew top knot headband. It's a mouthful for me. This is the 2-inch headband, which is this one, and I actually have a template on how to make these. So I actually use one of these templates, which is this, and I'll put the instructions with measurements for the correct sizes to get this headband like perfectly for your cuts and everything. And I've got the picture with all the nice clear measurements here, but I'll make sure that you can see it properly, and I'll put that before the video starts. And I've also got the sizing, obviously that's another 2-inch one, for the 1-inch headbands and the 15mm headbands as well. So I'll put all the different templates on my Facebook page and before or after the tutorial for you. So have a look for them. It'll have all the sizing that you need to make sure everything's cut nicely. So let's move this out of the way and excuse the mess of my cutting board. I tend to use it for other things. So this is my template. I've cut the paper out and then I made a version in cardboard. Super simple to do. And just so you know, not watching me make an absolute fool of myself, I've actually cut the material to the correct length, which is 50 centimetres in total, or about 21 inches. Okay, so this is what you get. This is actually 10 inches wide at the moment. We don't need that. So what we do is take the template, make sure all your edges are lined up as well, because you want everything nicely aligned. And you can take your template like this. As you can see, it's a little bit long at the minute, but don't worry about that. I just pop a couple of clips at the top just to make sure things don't slip and move around, like so. And then you can fold it, and you want to fold it so it's all straight. As you can see, the edges aren't quite lined up, so what I do is I give them a little adjust like that. And this is a bit we need. We don't need all the rest, so I'm just going to take those off. And then you can move that to the front. And again, make sure all your edges are lined up, and you want this where you've got all your folds facing the straight edge. You don't want it this way, otherwise you'll be cutting it open rather than cutting it to make your shape. Okay, so again, I'm just going to take my clips. I'm just going to put them there and there. This just stops everything moving around while you're cutting everything. Now, if you want to, if you're as accident prone as I am, you can put a few more clips on. And as we're gluing, not sewing, and we don't need like straight edges or anything like that, you can literally take your scissors and you can cut the shape. Or I have my giant quilting ruler, so you can line up your quilting ruler, actually put it on. I've had to put the safety on because I cut myself earlier. I always go back and forth a couple of times because it sometimes catches depending on what I'm doing. I'm trying to go through like 4 layers though, so it is potentially partially my own fault for this. There you go. You can see most of it's cut. Just a few little places. But like I said, that is me rather than the actual tool. Because like I said, I'm having a moment today. So stupidly accident prone. I also stabbed myself in the foot with a needle that I'd left on the floor. And it was my own fault because I've been using blunt ones all week and they were ruining my ribbon. So I actually ventured a trip out to the shop. There we go, that's better. Actually ventured a trip out to the shop to buy new sharp ones, and then drop one on the floor and stab myself in the foot, and I had to pull it out. That hurt like a rude word. Again, I'm just going to put the clip there. Now with this, if you're good at cutting at angles with your rotary cutter, you can use your rotary cutter. If you're not, do not worry, because that's the whole joy of this template. Take another clip at the bottom. Press it all so it's against the template, and take your scissors and trim any extra bits. Now you do get these little bits, but it's not too much waste, and it sort of minimises your waste as well. Don't forget to do your catch on your rotary cutter so you don't cut yourself like I do. So we've cut this around the template. You can take this off, and this is what we will have. This shape here with the tapered bit each side. So what you want to do is fold it in half, take it where your tails tips are, is make a loop like this, put your hand through here, and then pull until you have a knot. Okay, don't worry about it at the moment being too messy, you just want to sort of make sure it's pretty well centered. Then take your headband like this, and then take it from the flat side in the knot and pop that through. Now the first thing I do is center the knot so it sits in the middle of your headband, and you'll see you've got a fairly even amount of fabric either side. Now don't worry too much if it's not the right length for the headband, that is fine. It's bullet fabric, it's meant to stretch nice and tight, so it's like tight around your headband so it doesn't look messy once it is done. So pull it down a little bit past your headband bit, and all you want is a touch of glue here, and I pull like a centimetre of fabric over. Okay, so just a bit of glue there. There we go. Make sure it's centred and fold that down. On that end, like so, and then we're going to repeat the process exactly the same the other end, and again pull it up, give yourself that centimetre, put the glue there. Make sure you don't get glue on the other bits of your fabric or anywhere else. Take it, pull it over that centimetre. So you've got this amount roughly on each side, and you've sort of centred your fabric as well. Okay, so it looks like this. Like I said, you've got a pretty even amount each side, and as you can see here, it's a bit twisted. Now don't worry about this, because what we're going to do is take the fabric now, and I put my fingers underneath, and you pull it so that you've got even amounts each side, and then you do exactly the same this time. Side, take your finger underneath, pull it across so that you've got equal amounts of fabric on both sides, so you've got a nice balance. Okay, and if you've got raw head edges here at the moment that's showing, don't worry, because I'll show you a trick to make them tidier in a second. Now on this side, what I like to do is, this knot will be much bigger, but what I like to do while I'm gluing is sort of squish it together in the centre, and then move it to one side or the other depending which side you're gluing. And I'm going to glue this side down first, so the left side, and from here pull this from behind and across, and I'm going to do an edge of glue along this side, and then we'll put a bit more over here once we've got the edge done. But when you put the glue on, you do need to work fast so that you can smooth it out and that you've not got any bulk under your fabric. So I just sort of smooth it with my finger so that there's no like lumpy seams or anything underneath there. Okay, and then once you've got it across properly, then we can add some more glue. secure the edges down a little bit more. There we go. So that's that side. So as you can see here, this side's going to be a bit too much to go over the tip of the foot. So what I like to do before I glue is I'm going to push this up, and as you can see, that's a bit that's a little bit too much. And I'm just going to take a little bit off that side. Again, make sure you sort of fold this down like so. Press it up so it's back to meet the foot, and again, still a little bit on the long side. A little bit more off, that's better. Bring it back up so it meets that edge. Make sure it's folded down so it's nice and tidy. And add the tiniest bit of glue because you don't want it to seep up. And like I said, pull it so it's nice and straight. Okay, so that's what this side looks like. And I'm just going to add a little bit more glue just to there, just to get that triangle down. But like I said again, move your knot out your way because you don't want to glue your knot to your headband. And squish it down so, like I said, you don't have any like seams where you can. Now we're going to do the opposite side, and again, pull it so it's nicely over. You want about the same amount of pull over each side. So there's that one. And again, I'm going to glue this sort of edge here first, not too close to the edge because you don't want glue to seep over. Okay, and then we're going to put some across here. Go, pull this side over. Get that nice and flat. Watch where you get glue though. Okay. And then I'm just going to put some glue inside there to hold that. Side across. And again, we want this side exactly the same as the other. We want to fold this down and see if we need to bring it across. And again, I've got a little bit more too much, so I'm just going to cut that extra bit off. Still a tiny bit. There we go, that's better. And fold that one across neatly like so. And again, you want a bit of glue across that side. Don't go crazy with it though, because like I said, we don't want bulky feet. I'm just going to put a little line of glue underneath there. Be careful though, because you want it to be hidden, not seen. Okay, so there's one side. Now with this, you can move your knot over this side, so again it's not in your way as you're gluing your first pieces. Pull it so, like I said, it's even, and again I'm just going to glue this side down first. Sorry, it's tricky to see everything. Okay, again, fold that side down, pull it across nicely squared. Again, that's going to be too much, so I'm just going to cut there, pop that open, and you can see where that is too much, cut that bit off. And just a tiny dot of glue. Across, and there's one side. And then pull this side so it's nice and tight as well. A little bit of glue that side. Like I said, make sure your knot's out of the way so it doesn't go in that glue. There. Hold that side so, like I said, it comes in nicely. That side's going to be too much as well, so we're just going to cut that angle up a little bit more. And just a little bit more glue. In here. And then, like I said, make sure he turns over and it's nicely squared off. I'm just going to add the last bit of glue. There. Okay. And I'm just going to do a little bit more. There we go. So that's what it looks like at the moment. If you've got any like seams open like that, if you are doing it without adding the felt like I will, you can just go back in with your gun. Make sure you can't see the glue and it's not going to seep out. You can do that, and then you can do the same this side. And make sure you hold it down for a second so that it doesn't lift. There we go. So some people will leave it like that. What I do is I've cut 13 inches of felt, 1 inch wide. Now this is going to be too wide, so what I do is I take the foot this end. Oh, first I'll show you. So pop your middle open, pop this through, and this is going to hide any seam mess as well. So if you have got a touch of glue anywhere, don't be massively concerned because this will hide. So get it in place, see if you need to cut it down or anything like that. So no, once that's nice and flat, that's going to be the right length. That's a little bit longer, so we'll just cut that back down a little bit, but then you can take it out. And the same with what we did with the other fabric, we're just going to taper it just a bit, not a lot, just like I said, a little, so that this is not wider than the bottom of the headband. And then I take this, fold it in half, and use it as a guide for the opposite side. There you go, so that both about the same. And like I said, this is 1 inch wide, 13 inches long. And then you take it and you pop it back through. Line up your tips of your there you go. And then move one side out of the way while you're gluing this one. And what you want to do is you sort of want to do the inch of glue across so that you've got no lift either side. And I use the width of the so move that out of the way, and then you can take your glue gun and use your piece of felt as a guide, and make sure you're covering up that seam as well, because that's basically the whole point of this, it's to hide that join. And again, use that bit as a guide of how far you want your glue to go across, but don't go too far because you don't want to have glue anywhere on your headband that's going to be visible, basically. There we go, do it little by little. And smooth it with your fingers as you go in as well. If you need to, you can sort of taper it a little more as you go. And then on this side, again, flip it round, make sure it's centered, and you want to do exactly the same thing as glue string is out of the way. Again, using that as a guide to how much glue you need to put across, little by little. last bit, last bit. There we go. And again, if you've got any that you're going to see, just angle it a little bit more. Just that side as well, so you can't see it in front of your headband. Like that. I'm just going to add a little bit more glue to that tip. There we go. And then the other thing I do is check it by running your finger each side. So you can see there's a little bit of a lip here. So what I do is I bring it forward. There we go. Take glue gun and make sure you get in, not near the fabric. You want to go in the seam. Like that. And then push it down so it's against the headband, not coming up from the headband. And again, check the opposite side as well. So there's a little one there, but only one little bit. There. And then we've got a little bit here. There we go. So now, if you've got a glue gun like mine, move all your glue stringers so they're not on your headband. And then, like I said, you've got your raw seam that's showing a little bit here. So all I do is I twist that way, and the same this way. You just sort of pinch it under and tuck it like so. And then you can take your knot, this bit, and all I do is I pull that out so it's nice and flat, not fat. And then centre your knot a little bit, and there you go. You've got a no-sew headband, 2 inches wide. This is what it looks like. This is the back, minus the glue stringers. Nice and tidy, no seam showing, and the felt just makes it look, like I said, a little bit nicer. And also on the feet, when it's behind your ears, on your head, that felt softens behind your ears as well, so it's more comfortable to wear, which is another plus for me, because like I said, having that bullet with that ridge of glue where it's glued can irritate me without the felt, because like I said, I wear them myself. Like I said, this is my favourite headband. I've been wearing this one around my house for weeks, mainly because it covers my grey strip of like raccoon hair where I haven't dyed it the whole of this lockdown. So like I said, I absolutely love them. Like I said, the felt makes it a little bit more comfortable. And thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this useful. Bye.